Today we're reacting to Christian reacting to Top G and Tate about the difference between Christianity and Islam. Let's go.
Hey, what's going on, guys? And welcome. Today joining us is Pastor Steven Anderson. How's it going?
It's going great. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, anytime, man. So, have you heard of Andrew Tate?
Not until you called me and mentioned him to me. I'd never heard of him, no.
Yeah, I mean, this guy is probably the most trending person all across the internet. So I thought, what better person to react than you to Andrew Tate? So since you haven't really seen it or heard about him, let's start off with one of his videos. So first, you're going to react to Andrew Tate on the difference between Islam and Christianity. So here we go. All right.
Thought on Islam and everything, because I know in the Quran and stuff, like, you could have up to 4 wives and stuff. So I've seen you talk about it a little bit, but I would like to know, like, what you think about it.
I think it's the last religion on the planet.
You think it's the right religion?
I think it's the last religion. So if it's the last true religion on the planet, then it has to be the correct one. Because I don't think
How is it the last one?
It's the last religion because no other religion has boundaries which they enforce. If you
look at the pastor's face, everyone.
Because I don't think
How is it the last one?
It's the last religion because no other religion has boundaries which they enforce. If you will tolerate everything, then you stand for nothing. If your book says X, but you refuse to say the book says this,
That's
sick
true.
to what the book says. Doesn't matter what the subject is, right? I don't want to get us banned. I think
So you're
everyone can work it out.
Pause
You're a
it for a
Christian.
second.
Okay.
So what's so stupid about this is that you've got, 1.6 billion Muslims in the world. Is he really saying that they're all following the Quran? Because obviously they're all following it to various degrees. Like if we were to go to Turkey, for example, that's a huge Muslim country with millions of people in it. And they have like the most relaxed, laid back standards. They're the most secular of all Muslims.
What Pastor Steven not acknowledging is that if you go, for example, Turkey just mentioned, if you go there and try and insult the Prophet of Islam, Muhammad, just try and see what's gonna happen. Do you think they're just gonna look at you and clap for you and in the name of freedom of expression and freedom of speech? No, that's not gonna happen. And in every single Christian country where you have people that insult openly Jesus Christ, and nothing happens to them. And they're even celebrated as freedom of speech and freedom of expression fighters.
Countries. So they're not sitting there and enforcing and being strict about everything that's written in the Quran. And, it's the same thing with any religion. You're going to have the liberal people that are watering everything down. And, you're going to have the Pope out there saying that, atheists can go to heaven as long as they're good people or whatever. You're going to.
But you can't claim liberals are religious. Liberals are not religious. Liberalism and Islam and Christianity are opposites. You can't be a tall, short guy or a liberal Christian or a liberal Muslim. That's an oxymoron, in my opinion.
Going to have these churches that are flying rainbow flags and everything, but that's just one end of the spectrum. And then on the other end of the spectrum, you're going to have the fundamentalists that, go by exactly what the book says. So it's the same with.
Yes, there is zero rainbow flag on any mosque in any place in the world, in the Muslim world. Zero. And I can easily find it in the Christian world, more so in the Western world.
With Islam and with Christianity. That's why they even talk about Muslim fundamentalists, because guess what? There's Muslims that are not fundamentalists, which is the vast majority of Muslims.
No, this is a misconception. The term Muslim fundamentalist is just used by the media to bash any religiosity from any person from the Middle East. Any brown person that loves his religion is a fundamentalist. He just proved Andrew's point by separating Muslim by the term fundamentalist and others, because fundamentalism is what the media and the Western media use to attack any person from the Middle East or any brown person that loves his religion and adhere to the laws of his religion, and against liberalism. If you're not liberal, you're a fundamentalist.
Out of 1.6 billion Muslims, just like with Christians, only a minority are fundamentalists. I'm a fundamentalist. I believe that
This is the point. He just said there is a minority of Christians that follow the religion. So what's the debate about? Muslims, majority of Muslims follow their religion, and minority of Christians follow the religion. That's the point. He's trying his best to separate between fundamentalists and others, because the Western media, when they try to speak about religious Muslims, they show you a man with a beard trying to kill somebody in Iraq or Afghanistan or somewhere in the Middle East. No. And Andrew Tate, looking like that, could be a fundamentalist Muslim, could be a Muslim that follow every single point of his religion. It has nothing to do with the caricature of the Muslim in the media.
every word of the Bible is inspired by God. It's relevant right now. So this is just stupid. He's acting like he's so smart and like he's just come out with some profound idea here, but it's just he's just making this up. It's no different than any other religion in that sense.
Yeah, it makes sense.
99% of Christians are ignoring every single rule.
No, it doesn't make sense. Muslims pray 5 times a day. I dare you to get Christians to go to the church 5 times a day. In every single place on earth, we have mosques are full of people praying 5 times a day. They wake up in the morning, it's still night, and they go and pray, and mosques are full. You can't compare. You can't say it's same as any other religion. That's just delusion.
Inside the Bible every
Christians
single day.
interpret the Bible, you're saying? Like they pick and choose what they want to
Oh yeah,
stick with, you're
they'll
saying?
try and say I interpret it differently. I believe in God, but you know I don't believe in that part. That's not what the book says. It doesn't say ignore half of me. It says follow me. Only Muslims follow their.
It's funny how Pastor Steven is interacting with the video. He's emotional.
It differently. I believe in God, but you know I don't believe in that part. That's not what the book says. It doesn't say ignore half of me. It says follow me. Only Muslims follow their book.
No, true.
Yes.
No, true.
So they're the last religion.
Like, he's actually making the claim that 1.6 billion Muslims are faithfully following their religion? That's stupid. And not only that, 99% of Christians don't throw out parts of the Bible. There are a lot of Christians out, especially in America, where there's 50 million people who identify as Baptists. I mean, there are millions and millions of people in America that wouldn't say like, oh, well, I don't believe in that part. There are millions of people literally in America.
This is a claim. Pastor Steven Anderson himself doesn't follow the Bible. Is he circumcised? Does he eat pork? Does he follow the Jewish law? 100% he doesn't. Does he eat kosher? No, he doesn't. So he himself doesn't follow the Bible. The Bible says don't eat blood. Does he eat McDonald's? Yes, so he doesn't follow his Bible. He should follow the Muslims and the Jews. He should only eat kosher or halal food. But I know he's against halal food, even if it's required according to the Bible.
America that would say, I believe every word of the Bible.
Right.
Yeah.
They believe every word of the Bible. Does it mean apostasy laws against fornication and punishment of adultery and all these laws?
Who gives a shit if Christians come along and say, I'm a Christian, you know? Give a fuck. You ignore the Bible.
Well, isn't there a lot of Muslims that don't follow the Quran too, though?
I'm sure there's a lot of Muslims who don't completely follow the Quran. But I'm saying that if you were to go out there and try and find Muslims who live true to the Quran completely, you can find them.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna find a
I think
single.
you can find Christians.
No, you won't. Bullshit.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
Muslim I mean, not to even no diss on any religion, but like, dude, you're not gonna find a Muslim slut like.
That's right.
Like a woman that's a Muslim that's a.
Bro, you put me in any fucking church. Give me the hottest church.
There's
girl.
Muslim sluts out there.
I'm sure there are, but I'm saying he's the.
That's not the point. It's not like a Muslim woman can't be promiscuous. They can, but they will not tell you this is permitted or halal or it's a permissible act. They will say, I'm sinning. They'll not act like hypocrites and say that having casual relationships without commitment is normal and acceptable and God forgives all sins because Jesus died in the cross.
The point he's making is you can find a bunch of women who adhere to Islam who are still virgins who live 25 wait for arranged marriage.
Oh, yeah,
you will not find that under Christianity.
I think you'll find some.
Yeah, you can find a couple.
But you're
Bullshit,
right.
bro.
There's probably more Muslims that follow.
Definitely.
There's more devout Muslims than devout Christians.
Christianity has no power left. It's a power. Even the Pope is up here talking about, and I want to make this very, very clear. I'm not fucking anti anything. I'm not homophobic. I don't give a fuck. I'm talking about what the book says.
True.
If the book says man and women lay together, and then the Pope is going to stand up now and say that you can be a gay preacher, the book doesn't mean anything now.
True.
So the whole religion doesn't mean anything. So the
To
rules.
be
don't mean
fair,
anything. If you're
to Pastor Steven Anderson, I'm sorry, but I know the problem. I know he's religious. I know he tries to follow some of the Bible, and he will be against this type of behavior. But come on, at least be honest and accept that Muslims right now are more religious and adhere to their religion more than Christians. Just look at Pew Research. Islam is the fastest growing religion on earth. I never seen a person convert to Christianity in my life. How does it happen?
tolerant of everything, you stand for nothing. The problem is with religion is that it naturally needs to be intolerant. For a religion to be a religion which is respected, it needs to be intolerant of certain things.
Yeah, but
you can't say we're a religion which tolerates everything. Now you have no belief systems.
But when was that book written, you know?
It does, yeah, completely.
But the world evolves. So.
Completely. So Christianity's evolved into nothing. Islam hasn't. This is the point I'm making. The point I'm making is throw your own rules
that's
away.
fine.
Okay,
You can't stand up and say,
He's
this
getting
is-
triggered
these
now.
three hanging out and talking. This is what people watch. I guess 107,438 people. just
And you're
listen to
watching
these
it right now,
idiots
so-
talk about things they don't understand.
So are you an
You
idiot?
know, Christianity's involved in nothing. You know, Islam's involved. That's so stupid because the golden age of Islam was like 1,000 years ago, right? So all of Islam's great achievements in civilization happened.
See, he's conflating worldly life with religion. He claimed that the golden age of Islam is when the Islamic Empire was strong and they were pioneers in science, medicine, technology, engineering. It's a surface level analysis. We can't ignore geopolitics and American hegemony with what's happening in the Middle East and the Muslim world right now.
Like 1,000 years ago when they were actually like contributing to science, medicine, mathematics, astronomy. Where are they now? Now they're the laughing stock of the world.
This is the problem. I'm 100% sure he himself doesn't know nothing about science and scientists in Pakistan, scientists from Iraq, scientists from Syria. Does he think the Muslim world, they're just watching football and sitting in the home? What is he talking about? Of course they're contributing. Just read stars' names. Majority is just Arab names. And the new lithium was created by an Arab. What is he talking about? They are contributing. You have no knowledge about it. He thinks every scientist is from America or something? I just don't get it. Or for him, Muslims just from the Middle East or something. You can't have Muslims from Europe. You don't know the religion. Did you ask for religion for every scientist in the world?
For being the most illiterate countries in the world. Look up the top 10 most illiterate countries in the world.
This is again a misconception. People in the Muslim world speak at least 2 languages or more. He speaks 1, English. The average Muslim person speaks 3 languages. What does he mean by illiterate?
And they're Muslim countries. So that's how they've evolved and progressed. They've devolved because their religion is garbage. Okay.
This is how you know he's triggered. Just a second ago, he said the golden age of Islam, they were the best in science, medicine, mathematics, and now all of a sudden the religion is the reason they're not in the forefront of this field. This is a contradiction. And if we go by the comments on this video, they all agree with me.
I mean, and to sit there and say like, oh, well, you gotta stand for something and
Yes.
Christians don't stand for anything.
Yes.
Any Christian who does stand for something is silenced. So this perception.
Silenced by who? Other Christians. And Christians, instead of focusing on their religion and preaching the Bible, they focused all their preaching to attack Islam. If you look at, for example, David Wood, all he does is attack Islam. He doesn't preach his religion. If we look at the videos from the UK, Speaker's Corner, Hyde Park, Muslims are preaching their religions. Atheists standing and preaching liberalism, communism, and other schism and isms. And the Christians, what? They doing holes in Qur'ans and insulting the Prophet and insulting Islam and drawing the prophets of Islam. That's what they do. They're not preaching their religion because they're lost. And they're still losing.
Perception out there that Christians don't stand for anything is because if any Christian does get up and speak against homos, they get their channel deleted or they get censored by social media. So
yeah, that's, I mean, considering that you and all the other pastors that you work with, they're completely banned from social media, like all platforms. So, I mean, that I did mention that before because somebody was talking about Islam.
But who's doing the censoring? They're Christians. So your battle is against your own people, your own brothers and sisters. So focus on that.
And I don't want to give my opinion here really because this is about you, but you know, he's talking about Islam is the real religion. And I said, well, you know, every pastor I know that speaks the truth, and I mentioned you and those guys that like Pastor Mahi and stuff, they've all been banned. So yeah, that's why you don't hear.
And that's why you just proved Andrew's point. If you go to the Muslim world, you are free to speak your mind and speak your religion freely. But in the Christian world, you try to speak, you get censored and you get banned. And that's how you prove Andrew's point. Christianity is going to nowhere. It's a dying religion right now. Getting censored. You guys are afraid to get censored. Nobody stand up for their religion and you don't follow the book.
About them because of that, but
well, not only that, but he's talking about how, oh, you're not going to find a Muslim slut. That's just absurd. That's just
is he going to go look everywhere? Or?
I guarantee you they're out there. And not only that, but you hear about all kinds of pedophilia and bestiality going on in the Middle East and these backward mess.
And that's, guys, what we call racism. Dehumanizing the other. And it's easy for me to say that majority of people that goes to Cambodia and other places in the world and meet little girls, they look like him. That's easy. And it can be racist. And right now he's racist toward Asian and brown people.
Messed up Muslim crap holes. And so, you know, to glorify Islam as just taking a stand and being so pure and clean and right, and they're really living by their religion, it's total nonsense.
Let me keep rolling the video. We got about 2 minutes left. See if you can make it.
These are our doctrines, but we tolerate everything, and we don't punish anyone for anything, and none of it really matters. Are you a Christian? Well, who the fuck isn't? Biggest hoe in the world's a Christian. Porn stars are Christians. Who gives a shit? It doesn't mean anything. It's different with Islam. With Islam, you can't get away with it. Even if you're saying that there's some Islam sluts, etc., fine, that's cool. But people don't stand up and openly disrespect Islam.
Oh, hell no.
Because they're afraid. So, once again, if you don't have rule systems and doctrines and beliefs and prophets...
What did he even mean by that?
So I think what he meant was, you know how people are always disrespecting Christ and mocking Christ? He's trying to say like, well, nobody, you know, mocks the Bible, nobody mocks nobody mocks the Quran, nobody mocks Islam because they're scared, but they're not scared of Christians.
But that makes no sense because constantly people are in the news for like drawing comics of Muhammad and instead of saying peace be upon him, saying piss be upon him. People are constantly rebuking Islam.
I think Pastor Stephen doesn't understand what's happening right now. He's talking about the Western world. The Western world are insulting Jesus. Do you think they will not insult the Prophet of Islam? I dare you, go to Saudi, go to UAE, go to Qatar, go to Indonesia, go to Turkey and draw these cartoons. Do you think you're coming out alive? I don't condone violence, but you need to be realistic.
And making fun of it. I mean, especially in the United States.
Yes, a Christian country.
Talk all kinds of crap about Islam. Where is he? What this guy's?
I've seen it with my own eyes.
What did you say?
I've seen people mock it.
Where?
This guy's living in an alternate reality where you just have all these clean, pure, wonderful Muslims that are respected by everyone, and then Christians are a laughingstock. It's quite the reverse, my friend. In the United States here, Islam is looked down upon as a joke of a religion because that's what it is. So I don't even feel like this guy's...
You see, he doesn't like Islam because Muslims are taken over and Christians are converting to Islam because they have problem with the concept of Trinity is against logic, and they're converting to Islam. That's the biggest problem he has right now. It's not Andrew.
Connected with reality.
Okay.
live
Let me play it out. We got about a minute.
Which people are afraid to mock. Are you even a religion? People won't disrespect Islam. Nobody will disrespect it because they're scared. Even in a Christian country.
What do you mean by what do you mean by disrespect?
I mean, disrespect it. Say something, disrespect it. You can walk around, if you could wear a t-shirt saying Jesus is gay, right here in Croatia, a Christian country, and you will make it out of the country alive.
True.
I dare you to do the same thing with the Islamic Prophet.
But yeah,
I
Kyle.
dare you to do the same thing.
Right.
You
Right.
wouldn't make it out of a Christian country alive, an Islamic country alive. Even in Christian countries, you are not safe to do that. You do not disrespect their beliefs.
Yeah, disrespecting Allah is.
No, you don't do that.
Yeah, you don't. That's
Nobody
crazy.
does it. So what I'm saying
see what
is,
you mean, I see
if
what you
they're
mean.
the last religion on earth that people are afraid to disrespect, if their God is the last God on earth that people are afraid to disrespect, then he's the only God that matters. If every other God can be mocked, laughed at, put in video games and fucking shot at, stupid shit, dressed up gay on TV shows.
Preach, Andrew, preach.
What kind of religion is that? It's a joke.
Yo,
It's a good point, man.
How come you're the like? Do you ever get afraid?
Basically, so here's my analysis of this conversation. Basically, he says something just like stupid on its face, just totally absurd. And the other two
He's
guys
getting
know
triggered.
that what he's saying doesn't make any sense. So they're kind of like, well, like, what are you talking about? Like, what do you mean by disrespect? Because they know that what he's saying is not true. But then he just like digs in and says it really vehemently. And then they're just like, yeah, man, that's a good point. That's like that pattern played out several times.
That's emotional.
It seemed like they didn't want to argue with them. They just were like,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's stop it right here.
I think Pastor Steven got emotional in this video because everybody knows that Christianity is a dying religion right now, especially in the West, where Pastor Steven is from in America. Christianity has no power, nothing. It's everybody is Christian. OnlyFans girls are Christians, porn stars are Christians. Everybody claim Christianity and nobody follow the religion. Even the most religious Christian in the world doesn't follow his religion. Even Pastor Steven, I'm sure he doesn't eat kosher or halal food. I'm sure he doesn't mind eating from any place in the States, McDonald's, Burger King. It's not a problem for him. Probably he's not circumcised. I'm 100% sure they don't follow the book. So what can we say? I hope you enjoyed this video and this reaction, and see you in the next one. Bye.